What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Shabazz. Welcome to the channel. So today we got an NFL tier list. Based on all the teams, whether they range from lottery teams or tanking teams or Super Bowl contenders. That will be the range. We'll talk about more in a couple minutes. But real quick, I gotta keep mentioning this. The athletes are not the target, it's the teams. I respect all these athletes except for Baker Mayfield. And if you know, you know. At this point, you know. You know what I'm saying? These teams are, some of them are just very dysfunctional. Like, damn, like why? But that's a topic for another day. For right now, we have NFL tier list based on all 32 teams headed into the season on where I think they're gonna end up, either being competitive, whether they're gonna be Super Bowl contenders, playoff bound. We'll talk about it as the time comes. But before we get started, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's get right to. So we got 5 tiers. We got Super Bowl contenders, which is like the elite of the elite. We got the AFC/NFC champs at most. Like, they'll make it to the game, but they might not win it. Excuse me, pardon me. Playoff bound, well, they'll make the playoffs or they'll be close to making the playoffs. Maybe be like one game away, like the Chargers last year or whatever. Or they'll be competitive. There's this competitive tier where, like, you're not in the playoff hunt, but you're making strides and like you're in a lot of games. Like the Vikings last year, like they were in a lot of games, and it was a coin flip. It could have went either way. And then we got the like lottery teams or like tanking teams or like the upper first round picks. So for next year's draft, those are I'll say lottery teams. Shout out to Nick Wright on First Things First and what's right with Nick Wright. He does these like weekly tiers about all the teams and stuff. But I think we need a fresh face. So I'm gonna try to do it. Again, it might not please everybody, but hey, these are my opinions. Argue that with your mama. So with all that said, let's get started. So we got the Arizona Cardinals. I think this year they are playoff bound. I don't think that they'll be viable for, like, they'll probably win a game in the playoffs, but they nothing more than that. I don't think that they can sustain the second half of the season, because the first half they always do well, 5-2, 7-0, whatever, but then they fall off a cliff. That's been the pattern every single year. So I think that pattern continues. And plus, unless if Hollywood Brown and Kyler can like keep this team afloat, and then when D-Hop comes back, they hit the ball rolling crazy, then they probably can go up to the NFC championship game at the most. But for right now, I think playoff bound is where I think this should be. Atlanta Falcons. I think they are going to be a lottery team. They might be in some games, but it's not going to be like, oh, they lost this game when they should have won. Like, a lot of their wins, they might have the favorite. They might be a favorite in a couple games and they win those, or they might upset a couple teams, but they won't be like competitive like the Vikings last year, or for like the second half of the season for the Lions last year. I think they're going to be worried about next year because Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ridder or whoever's the starting quarterback, I don't know. They're going to have like good players in multiple places, but I don't know. Other than that, Ravens, non-bias, feel me? Super Bowl contenders, non-bias, little bias, not gonna little bias. I think that, in all honesty, with us, we were 8-3 before Lamar got hurt, right? And before Lamar got hurt, he was carrying this team that was depleted. And now this year, we're all back healthy. J.K. Dobbins just got activated for week 1, so that's awesome to hear. I think once he makes that next step, which I believe he's going to make that step, you feel me? I'm an optimistic Ravens fan. I'm not delusional. We got a good defense. We got a good running game. All we got to do is increase the passing game, and I think we'll be okay. If you want to be, glass half, like 75% empty, you might say NFC Championship game. Get to the championship game, you feel me, and then prove it. But in my point, wholeheartedly agree. If the Ravens won the Super Bowl, it would not shock anybody. Maybe some, Bengals fans, some Browns fans, but I think if you're a football fan, you respect what the Ravens are doing. Buffalo Bills are the favorites to win the Super Bowl, and I would not be surprised if they won the Super Bowl. I keep saying this, and I will continue to bang down this drum. Josh Allen will win the MVP. And if he doesn't, I don't know what. It might be Lamar. I don't know. But I think Buffalo is in the best shape to win the Super Bowl. Between offense, between defense, like a good balancing, Von Miller having that addition, that veteran leadership, Josh Allen making another step. He might be the best quarterback in the league after this season. We shall see. For right now, it's Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. But yeah, I think, and plus the division besides the Dolphins, the Patriots aspiring, which we'll get to that later. But I don't know. I feel like it's easy to see out the AFC, Buffalo being that team. Carolina, I think, no bullshit. As much grief as I give Baker Mayfield, if he's the starter, they're competitive. I think so. If he's the starter, then they're competitive because he's capable of winning some games. And oh my God, Ronell supports Baker Mayfield for once in his life. I know, but I think he is capable. If Christian McCaffrey is healthy, knocking on his health, please be healthy. There's a lot of players he's like the second overall running back in fantasy, yo. I mean, hopefully he's healthy. And the defense is, I think they're getting better every year. They were in a lot of games because of their defense. They won a lot of their games because of their defense alone. I think they're going to be competitive this year. Maybe not a lottery team. I won't say they're going to be that bad, but they're definitely maybe a year or two away from actually being in the playoffs again and maybe even contending for a Super Bowl. Chicago Bears, lottery. I don't see it. Like, Roquan Smith literally demanded a trade on August 8th, which was yesterday. And it was like, oh, bro, no, was it yesterday or was it this morning? Either way, I'm recording this on August 9th, by the way. He requested a trade. He was like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, there was no direction. They didn't want to pay any of the linebackers. And he wanted to be in Chicago, but Chicago proves to be an incompetent franchise. I'm sorry for y'all Chicago Bears. For me, y'all are a legendary franchise. Y'all one of the pioneers of the game. Walter Payton, all that. But right now, Justin Fields getting the shit under the stick. I said that in my description of every other team. You feel me? It's unfortunate. Bengals, it's tough. I'm not going to say they're contenders. I'm going to say championship game at the most. And if they do win it, then fine. Like, they're right in between. I think they're going to have a little drop-off because that season was crazy, right? They got hot at the right time and they won. You feel me? They should have lost against Tennessee, but they beat Tennessee. And then they should have lost to Kansas City, but Kansas City put their foot off the gas. So I think that for right now, I'm going to put them at championship game contenders. Maybe mid-season, week 9, week 10, I'll revisit this and change it. But for right now, I think they're not. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. And I'm going to retract the Ravens because, yeah, the hypotheticals, we were all injured last year. That's a bunch of excuses. No cap. And for me, I'm not one to make excuses. But for right now, I think we can make the AFC Championship game. At the least, you feel me? At the most, for me, or maybe win it going to the Super Bowl. I'm going to say until we prove it, we're at the AFC Championship game. Browns, competitive. I'm not gonna completely knock them out because they have a fairly decent schedule. They don't have like a world beating schedule at the beginning of the season. Like, Deshaun Watson might be suspended 6 games, might be 8, might be 12. You feel me? I don't know. The NFL is appealing that case for him. But let's say it's 6. They can easily go 3-3 or 4-2. You feel me? Or 2-4. And Deshaun Watson could definitely win a lot of the games down the road. So, but if it's 12 games, then it will definitely be from competitive to like lottery. Not, it's kind of hard in between. I say in between competitive and lottery, but I'll give them the credit of being competitive because they still got a great defense. Myles Garrett, he might actually win Defensive Player of the Year. They might give it to him because they gave it to Aaron Donald, then they gave it to T.J. Watt. So like right now they might try to make a new star, and since he's already at that level, they might just give it to him. Like, oh, here you go, boom, you could be Defensive Player of the Year. So if he has a good season, he might get it. Denzel will get paid. They got Nick Chubb still, Amari Cooper. I'm pretty sure he wants his redemption because he got traded for like a 5th round pick or 6th round. I'm like, what? That's crazy, right? Came to Baltimore for all that, right? Cowboys. I think they're gonna make the playoffs, but that's it. That's all. Like the Cowboys, until proven otherwise, no. Like that's all. Like in my opinion, that's all they can be. And I'm gonna make a tier. If I can make a tier, can I make a tier? Can I make a tier? Can I make a tier? Oh, yes, I can. I'm going to say playoff bound. I'm gonna say viable. Make this viable playoff team, and then wild card exit. Okay. So now I'll change that to put Cowboys at the wild card exit, and then the Cardinals as a viable playoff team. Viable meaning getting to the divisional round and having a close game with the divisional to make it to the championship game and further on. Jerry Jones' goal with the Cowboys is to be viable, but I don't think they're ready to be that. The Denver Broncos, everyone is low-key sleeping on the Broncos, but they honestly are Super Bowl contenders. And I know they have to prove it, like Russell Wilson has to prove it, but he's a Super Bowl champion. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. I think he's the perfect quarterback for what they need. They have a good running game with Javonte Williams, and they're talking about splitting carries with him and Melvin Gordon. So that's a 1-2 punch. Cool. They got Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy, I'm expecting him to make a big leap in year 3. Cortland Sutton is a dog. He's a very underrated dog. You feel me? They have a great defense too. So I don't see why they can't make it to the Super Bowl. I can't see why. I can't see why not. Detroit Lions, I don't think they're gonna be lottery team, but I do think they're gonna be competitive. I think that I think the Lions are gonna be competitive.
You what?
Nah, for real. Because in all honesty, I think that they had a lot of games where they could have won, including Baltimore. If it wasn't for Justin Tucker setting an NFL record, like we would have lost that game. I think that this season, Dan Campbell, year 2, I think they're gonna make that leap. Easy to say, no, maybe one more year when they get a nice quarterback coming into 2023. But I still think even if they lose a lot of their games, they're gonna be competitive. And the QB crop for next draft is super stacked projectedly. I think they'll be okay with anything. And hell, even trade up next year and get Bryce Young or whoever's out in the draft. So because Jared Goff is not it. Green Bay Packers, I think they are championship game. Nah, I think they're viable. Every year we overrate them and be like, oh yeah, they're Super Bowl contenders. But as of August 9th, preseason about to start in like 2 days for every other team. I don't see it. I honestly don't. And it's crazy, but they might not even make the playoffs. But I'm not counting Aaron Rodgers out. I think they'll make the playoffs and they could win a game. Maybe 2, maybe 3. They'll be a competitive playoff team. That's what viable means. Competitive, could potentially make it to the Super Bowl. But if they do, they can't win the division. I'm not jacking. When home games at Lambeau is not Aaron Rodgers' forte. The year he won the Super Bowl, he was a wild card team. He was the six slot wild card. He had to win. He was always the underdog. I think if he was to go that route again, then it's easy to be like, oh yeah, Packers could possibly win the Super Bowl. But for right now, with no clear wide receiver 1, gonna be hard because the defense is good. Masu Douglas, feel me? Fuck. Jair Alexander. I was about to go drive myself crazy thinking about it. I think they can compete, but I don't think that's it. I think that's it. Houston Texans, lottery. And this is no knock to Davis Mills at all. I think he's honestly pretty good. I think he's a pretty solid guy. I just don't trust the organization because that organization mishandled Deshaun Watson, mishandled DeAndre Hopkins, and they might just they drafted Derek Stingley Jr. when we knew that Sauce Gardner was the better prospect. I don't know what's going on with that, and I don't know. They could arguably be competitive, but I honestly think they're gonna be in the top 3 next year. So I don't know. Indianapolis Colts, I'm jacking wild card exit. Jonathan Taylor, Matt Ryan, Michael Pittman Jr. That's a good triple team, triple threat, big 3, whatever you want to call it, right? I think that's a good team right there. I think running the ball, having that be the primary option, and then Matt Ryan off of play action passes to Michael Pittman Jr. I think that could be very successful for the Colts. However, that AFC is stacked. And on top of my head, looking at the teams right here, I don't have them beating the Bengals. I don't have them beating the Ravens. I don't have them beating the Broncos or Buffalo. So that's already 4 teams that they might have to play let's say they win the division. They might have to play the Bengals or the Broncos or Miami or Chargers or Kansas City. They not beating any of those teams. And this is not like they're good. Just other teams are just better than them. So I think their wild card exit possibly viable, but for right now, I'm gonna put them at a wild card exit. Jacksonville, see, I'm not gonna say lottery. I'm not, because they had a first pick last year. They got Trevor Lawrence. They had a first pick this year. They had Trayvon Walker out of Georgia. I think that they're gonna improve a lot. Now, I'm not going to be Nick Wright and be like, yeah, they're going to win like 9-10 games. No.
The other reason I like the Jags' chances is you guys know I'm a big strength of schedule guy this time of year in particular. And let's show both of the schedules. Can we show the Jags first, if we may? The Jags, of course, they have 2 games against the Texans, but they also get Washington, the Giants, Detroit, the Jets. That's 6 wins. The expectations are 6.5. So in the other 11 games, could the Jags go 1-10? Sure. 2-9, you betcha. 3-8, now we're talking. Hold on. Wait a second there. 4-6. Wait, 4 wins of the other 10, or 4-7 it would be. And then 6. Wait, could this be a 10-win Jags team? Maybe. You know what, Wilds?
No.
I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
About?
The Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville.
You're predicting that.
I am predicting the following. The Jacksonville Jaguars finish the season above 500.
I'm going to say they might lose. They might be like 5-12 or 6-11. But hey, those games that they lose might be by a touchdown, might be by a field goal, might be by 6 points. You feel me? They're going to cover the spread in a lot of games. Mark my words. Jacksonville's going to be competitive. They're not going to be in the playoffs, whatever. I just don't think so. And if they do, shit. Shout out to Trevor Lawrence. Shout out to Doug Peterson too. But I just don't see it at this moment. Kansas City Chiefs, man. Out of respect to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, I'm gonna put them as Super Bowl contenders. But that defense is basura. It's basura, bro. It's trash. And I honestly believe that if they were going to make it to the Super Bowl, in the playoffs, they're gonna have shootouts. 30-something to 30-something. Or hell, you have a 51-49 game like they had like 3 years ago against the Rams. Like, have it like that? That'll be crazy. Good television. But nah, I'm gonna put them at the championship game. Like they'll probably make it. They probably could make it. But I'm gonna leave Super Bowl contenders for teams that I'm 100% confident could make it to the Super Bowl. Could make it to the Super Bowl, or at least Like if they win it, cool. If they make it and lose it, that's fine. Chargers, see, this is where I'm gonna put them at championship game at most. I actually have I think I have a bet, like a $5 bet that they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Cause hell, Joe Burrow made it to the Super Bowl his second year. Justin Herbert, I think is better. He can make it to his third year. You know what I'm saying? All right. But actually, I'm gonna put them as contenders. Cause what's their flaw? What's their flaw? They have a good quarterback, elite quarterback, good running game, good receivers, good decent tight end, whatever. But in the defense, they got a great defensive line, good secondary. The only weakness I'm gonna say is linebacker, like the standalone, like middle linebacker and inside backer. But that's about it. That's honestly it. I don't see a flaw in this team. Maybe coaching. Like Brandon Staley would be the reason why they make it to the playoffs or not. Maybe if they make it to the playoffs, he might be the reason why they lose a game or win a game. You know what I'm saying? There's so many factors, but I think if there was a team, like a dark horse team that no one's really talking about like that, it would be the Chargers. It would be the Chargers. And if you haven't made a parlay yet, maybe put like a $5 bet on it. You know what I mean? If you lose, don't blame me. But I'm just giving you some advice from, you know what I mean? I made it so you can make it. And when I lose money, you lose money too. Word. So don't blame me if you lose. But wait, make a $5 bet, have him win the Super Bowl. I don't know what the odds are, but hey, I'll put the odds right somewhere on the screen. Make a bet. 5 cash. That's barely, that's a burger and cheese right there. You know what I'm saying? All right. Rams are Super Bowl contenders. I'm jacking it. I'm jacking. If there was, because repeats are hard to happen, hard to come by. But there's any time a team that was like posed to make a comeback, I said make a comeback, make a repeat, it will be the Rams. Because they still got Matthew Stafford. I know he's battling with the tendonitis in the shoulder, whatever, in the arm, whatever. But I think he'll be okay. He's played through much worse, if you know, you know. Cooper Kupp is still going to be there. They got Allen Robinson. They got Cam Akers. They got Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner. You know what I'm saying? So like they got all 3 levels of the defense and all multi-levels of the offense. So if there's any team to repeat, and plus the NFC is much thinner compared to the AFC. So they probably will have to be part of like Green Bay, freaking San Francisco, or whatever. I think they can do that and possibly go to the Super Bowl again and maybe win it back to back. That would be crazy. Vegas Raiders, I don't put them at a viable playoff team, which is weird because I don't think it's like one of these teams between Chargers, Chargers, Broncos, Chiefs, and Raiders. Those are 4 pretty good teams. That division is crazy. But one of them or 2 of them aren't going to make the playoffs. Maybe best case scenario is all 4. But because you're going to have the division winner, then there's 3 wild card spots. And I honestly got the Bengals and the Ravens making to playoffs. You feel me? So that's 1 less spot. So then 2 slots are going to have to be, I don't know. So if they do make it to the playoffs, they're definitely viable. Their one weakness, I think, is corner, which that would be the reason why they probably lose a lot of games. But their offense can compete with almost anybody's. Almost. Because Josh Jacobs, I don't know, a little shaky on it. But I think that viable also can mean scary. If a team was to play the Raiders, I don't think they would want to do that. Just like if a team was to play Packers in the playoffs, they wouldn't want to do that. Especially if the Packers got to travel, and they're like let's say they're the underdogs or whatever, bro, that'll go crazy. But back to the Raiders, I don't know. I think if they make it to the playoffs, then they could possibly be viable. But actually, no, I'm thinking about it. If they do make it to the playoffs, I don't see them win because of the corner back deficiency that they have. They're good up front with Chandler Jones, Max Crosby. That's solid. Linebacker leaves a lot to desire, but the cornerback, bro, let's say they play the Bengals. Burn. Let's say they play the Bills. Stephon Diggs will kill them, eat them alive. Like, it will be crazy. Let's say they play the Chiefs in the playoffs. Travis Kelce will kill them. Juju, McCole Hardman, like MVS, like it's crazy. The receiving crop of the AFC. I don't think they can make it. So I think they do make it to the playoffs. They'll be a first round exit again this year, and then next year if they draft corners, develop them, whatever, then they can be competitive in the Super Bowl race. Dolphins, I would jack them making the playoffs because they still have a good defense, but this all depends on Tua. I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt. This all depends on Tua. If Tua becomes that guy, look at me. If Tua, you can become that guy, I'm zoomed in crazy to this camera right now. If Tua, you can become this guy, look at my eye. If you can become that guy, then you guys are very much alive in the division race, also in the conference, because the defense is good. It's solid. Like, there's not a lot wrong with it. And then you got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, Mike Gesicki. The skill positions is Gucci. The quarterback is the biggest question mark. So, like, that's me. That's how I feel about it. And if they do, honestly, all the quarterbacks that they'll be facing in the playoffs are better than Tua. So, and coaching matters a lot, especially if you're a rookie head coach. So, they might be competitive or they might squeeze into the playoffs. But if they do, they're a first round exit. Vikings, I'm jacking their a viable playoff team. I'm jacking it. And y'all might, if y'all know me, I know I'm a Ravens fan. I'm a Vikings supporter. I'm a Vikings fan. I guess I'm a Vikings fan. I'm a Ravens fan and a Vikings fan. Like, those are my two teams, right? Justin Jefferson, my favorite receiver in the game. Dalvin Cook, my favorite running back in the game. That's awesome. But I think the fact they're gonna be the most improved team. I said that. I'll say this. I will always say this. The Vikings will make the biggest jump between not even making the playoffs to making it to the divisional, maybe even the championship game, and possibly even the Super Bowl. I think because the offense is elite. Not elite. It's definitely great. Good offense. Good to great. Good to above average, right? Hell, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. Kirk Cousins is the only question mark. Feel me? I know there's a lot of memes that Kirk Cousins is like he shrinks in prime games or whatever. But hey, he threw for like 4,000 yards. Hey, a lot of other quarterbacks could throw 4,000 yards, man. Hey, I don't know. Defense is solid. I think they're making another jump. For me, I think if they were to make it to the playoffs, they'll be a scary team that no one wants to play. Patriots, I don't say they're competitive. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. I think they're going to make another. They made the playoffs last year, but I think they're going to take a big jump. Mac Jones is already struggling in training camp. He's saying, yeah, I'll figure it out. But I don't think so. I don't think he's going to figure it out. I think that it's going to leave a lot to desire. I know they got Devontae Parker. I know they got Damian Harris and a good running game and a good defense with Bill Belichick. But if Matt can't do it, then he can't do it. Like, I don't know what else there is to say. Saints, I'm jacking their viable. I'm jacking it because this is not even biased towards Natty Baps for me. I think they're going to make the playoffs because the defense is great. I know Jameis is coming off the ACL, but Michael Thomas is coming back. He's back. Jarvis is there. Chris Olave is there. Alvin Kamara is there. For me, bro, they got offense and defense. Can Jameis prove why he was a number one overall pick? Finally. I mean, he threw for 5,030 touchdowns, but he also threw 30 interceptions, so that's kind of crazy. If they make it to the playoffs, I guarantee you no one wants to play them. I guarantee you no one wants to play them. Giants, I don't know. I'm going to put lottery because Daniel Jones, bro, I think they have a pretty decent roster. A roster that can make them competitive. But I just don't see Daniel Jones being anything other than just a guy. And you feel me? I don't know. And this is not like I'm from New York. Why would I hate on the Giants? Or why would I hate on the Jets? I just don't think that, you feel me, he's a capable quarterback right now. Maybe Brian Daboll turns him into another Josh Allen and he makes a huge leap and, feel me, go crazy. Maybe they make the playoffs and be a wild card exit, or hell, maybe catch a lightning in a bottle and become a Super Bowl champion. I don't know. But for at this moment, until proven otherwise, I gotta put them on a lottery team. Jets, I'm actually they're not in the lottery. And the Jets are headed in a better direction than the Giants only because I trust Jack Wilson over Daniel Jones. Because Zach Wilson got that dog in him. Playing. I'm joking. But in all seriousness, no. I think Robert Saleh, good. He's a very motivational coach. His coaching style leaves a lot to desire. I don't think he commands the room well, but I do know his players play for him. Like they want to play for him. They want to go win for this guy. So he's obviously good enough to coach. And I think they had a lot of injuries last year too. And I think Zach Wilson year 2 makes a big leap as well. So I think they'll be in prime position, you feel me, to be competitive. And hey, if they make it to the playoffs, that'll be like a big W to build on for next year and the year after that, and just set the foundation now so that 2 or 3 years from now, we may be talking to them in serious playoff contention. Eagles are a viable playoff team, in my opinion. I'm not jacking the wild cards because they got the playoff experience last year, right? They lucked into the playoffs, don't get me wrong, but I definitely think that experience that they had where the first half against Tampa was very shaky, but the second half was very solid. If they could capture that, and with A.J. Brown coming from Tennessee, I think it would be the potential is there. Jalen Hurts has to prove that he's a guy. Like he's a good starting quarterback. Good through threat. He has a good arm. He's very mobile. You feel me? I think if they could make it to the playoffs with the running game and the defense, with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, bro, it has potential to be some very scary things in Philadelphia now. Hold on, sir. Hold on. All right. Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they're going to be competitive, and they may be squeaking to the playoffs. I don't think so because the AFC is stacked. It's stacked, ladies and gentlemen. It's stacked. Because why? For why, sir? For why?
So what, son?
I honestly believe that it's just, I don't know, man. It's rough because the quarterback is just, I don't know, man. They got quarterback issues. You know what I'm saying? Feel me?
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me, though.
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me, though. You know what I'm saying? Seahawks lottery. Pete Carroll, I don't know. This is like a bad breakup, and you lose the breakup. We clearly downgraded. The ex upgraded got for me a dude that has money, loyal, understanding, versus you say you cheated and you got the trash that is unloyal, doesn't know how to cook, doesn't clean, doesn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? She's the bad works all around. You know what I'm saying? I think that they have no direction, and I would give them the benefit of the doubt if they had some clear direction of where they were going. Browns, Deshaun Watson's there. He might play this season. He'll probably play this season. The Lions, building up that foundation. The Patriots, there's always the Patriots, so they're always going to be competitive. Jacksonville's building that foundation as well. Jets is same thing. Pittsburgh, defense will carry them majority of the season. And hell, they still got Chase Claypool, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson. They have good players. It's just Pat Freiermuth, you know what I'm saying? But the quarterback is the issue. The Carolina, kind of the same thing. But Seattle, I don't see nothing. I don't see it at all. San Francisco, honestly, I could put them at Super Bowl contenders. The only question they have at this moment is Trey Lance. If Trey Lance can prove why he was a number 3 pick, why they traded 3 first rounders to get this kid, then yeah, for sure. If not, and have to rely on the defense and the running game, just like Jimmy Garoppolo, then they'll be right here, NFC Championship game again, lose it or win it, make it to the Super Bowl and lose the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna be optimistic. You feel me? Young black quarterback. You feel me? I'm a young black man, so I got a soft spot. You know what I'm saying? So I think they could be honestly Super Bowl contenders because they have a great defense. They got Debo, Brandon Ayuk. I think he's gonna his jump last year that was supposed to happen last year is gonna happen this year. I think Jimmy G and him they couldn't click. I don't think they could have clicked. But I think Trey Lance and Brandon Ayuk can. So if you are drafting people from the 49ers, consider if Debo's taken, consider drafting Brandon Ayuk. You know what I'm saying? Plus, he's pretty good. He had a solid rookie campaign. So it's his third season. I think he's gonna be good. I think so. I see him later in the rounds, and I might draft him myself. Anything? No, I'm not seeing it. Tampa. A lot of people have them as Super Bowl contenders. I personally do not. I think if they do, that'll be awesome. But I think that they're either a viable playoff team where they can easily make it to the Super Bowl, but I wouldn't put them in the same tier as the Rams and the 49ers. Those two, if you fast forward to January, this might be a repeat of last year's NFC Championship game. I don't think Tampa could beat either one of those teams, especially if Trey Lance is the guy that I think he's going to be. They not beating that because the defense of 49ers is better than Tampa, and then the Rams is holistically a good to great team. You know what I'm saying? I think they have the potential to be great. But Tampa Bay, they got Tom Brady, they got Mike Evans, they got Julio, so the offense is there. The defense, you haven't heard much about the defense, so there's a lot of question marks on whether or not they can compete. But I think that they possibly can, and they make it to the championship game. Cool. They win it, go to the Super Bowl. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? But I don't personally see it. Tennessee, though, at best, is a first round exit. Ryan Tannehill is cheeks in midseason. I predict Malik Willis to be the starter midseason. They drafted him for a reason to replace Ryan Tannehill. I don't know if Ryan Tannehill is good anymore. I say that in a non-disrespectful way. I just don't think that he's good. I just don't think so. Good enough to win a Super Bowl. Good enough to make the playoffs. You feel me? Good enough to lead your division. You feel me? Good enough to be first place in your division without Derrick Henry for like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Feel me? He could do that. But to make it to the Super Bowl, I don't think it's good enough. I personally don't. Plus, Derrick Henry is king Henry. And the Commanders, I think they're going to be competitive this year. And hell, that NFC East, bro, you got three teams who could, no cap, the Giants could possibly win that division. But I personally don't see it happening. Commanders could win the division. Chase Young, feel me? A lot of people sleeping on him because they don't got Chase Young. He's still injured or whatever. But hey, Carson Wentz, he had a pretty productive season. Mistakes aside. Statistically, he had a productive season. Scary Terry got paid. Antonio Gibson's looking good. You feel me? I don't know. Hey, screw it. they might win the division and surprise everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it for here. The NFL tier list. Hey, I know, controversial as fuck, but I don't care. I agree with your mama. I don't know. I think this season is going to be very interesting in the landscape of the NFL. How a lot of teams, we project them to be good, and it might wet the bed, and a lot of teams that we don't even have on our radar might surprise us. A couple teams include the Jets, the Jaguars, the Lions, the Steelers, you feel me? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like this, the Colts might surprise us with Matt Ryan being that guy again. Oh my God, there's so much good content online. There's so much good teams out there. Like there's like half the league I say is good. Like 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, 14, 19. More than half the league, I think, can make the playoffs. So it's going to be very competitive, especially late in the season where a lot of teams like they sit starters out and they be like, "Oh, we're gonna rest our players." No, I think if you're healthy, you're playing all 17 games unless you got the bye week locked up. Unless you got that locked up, we're playing all 17 games. Because the change of a hat 1 week could change it all. So it's gonna be very competitive. I'm so excited to watch how this stuff goes. But that does it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new, tell a friend to tell a friend, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
It's funny how nobody is certain to somebody sometimes, and still be a nobody. Feel like you're somebody sometimes.